of the wood.
And I believe Mod just drew a line in the mid lane, which is pretty interesting. First of all, he drew a very pretty line. But secondly, this line that he just drew, oh, look, perfect. This is where Warlock wants to stand, because when you're playing Razor one-on-one mid, the most important thing is that you have the equilibrium on your side. So the way you play the lane then is that you just run in the face of your opponent, you use static link, and he has to run back. But right now, Razor can't really chase Warlock that far because he's so close to his tower. So because of that, March actually has a pretty decent start here in the lane because of the better block. But now, Abba will be pulling back the lane, the equilibrium is now going to be in his half, and now it's his job to make sure it does not go back to March's side.
I don't believe Razor was changed at all in the last patch, but I know that Shadow Word was increased in duration by 2 seconds, which is pretty freaking good overall. And
It's
I think,
really strong. Yeah.
I think that his upheaval was actually changed as well as far as, what was it, the duration or something like that? I'm not exactly sure, but either way, that's going to be the 1v1. I mean, who do you have winning that lane, just all things considered?
Flat out this one-on-one mid?
Yeah.
Razor. If he has the lane here, he can... I love the skill build here for him, by the way.
Do you think he gets a kill on Warlock?
Potentially if March makes a mistake, but I think his chance of getting a kill isn't really that good until he has face boots on the Razor. So we're going to see if he can pull it off. His skill build is 2 points in static link and 1 point unstable current right now. Would like to see him not max out the unstable current. This is something you usually do when you're playing against OD in the mid lane, just as a lane counter. But I think Plasma Field is a very powerful ability, and if you don't level it up, you're kind of wasting your mana quite a lot.
We've seen a lot of Razors not
like
level that up, though,
yeah.
too.
And it is a strong ability, so I would love to see him not ignore that. Just 1 point in unstable current is fine. Gives a mini purge over on the Warlock if he tries to go aggressive with the Shadow Word. And then, yeah, you can also push out the lane with Plasma Field to get the runes.
Yeah, that's true. Bottom lane, which I haven't really talked about, the Shadow Demon, the Treant, and of course, Lakel's on his Morphling are going to be going against absolutely nobody.
Yeah, Prophet left.
Prophet's just like, fuck this, I'm going back in the jungle, which, I mean, he's level 2, so he's gotten the level that he needs, I feel like, to... I mean, well, he can just jungle from level 1, so it's not that big of a deal, I suppose. But top lane Centaur versus the tri-lane of MVP, which of course is the Slark, Rubik, and Jakiro, which MVP loves their Jakiro quite a bit.
So here's the deal. When Prophet leaves, it lets the supports play freely, and Mith Trust are immediately taking advantage of it by smoking up. It looks like March is aware. If nothing else, he has to play incredibly passively here, and maybe they even go into the dire jungle and start looking for the Prophet in there. I think Shadow Demon is going to be visible now, might catch up here. Yes, he will.
Oh, disruption. Oh, TP's going to be used. And that's going to force everybody back, but of course Rubik is forced to mid lane, so that's, I guess, a win in itself. I mean, you're rotating out the MVP supports, which means Centaur's going to get plenty of free experience top. Oh my god, he's actually getting a lot of experience here. Level 3 at the moment.
And he's going to be almost getting level 4 here. He's doing a good of just leeching experience. Has 2 CS, wouldn't be expecting him to get much more. Of course, when you're playing against double range supports and Slark with Pounce, you have to be a little bit careful not to get caught off guard, but KYT is just playing it the right way here, getting good farm. And they know that Lakel's is farming like crazy. It's actually interesting to see how big of a difference there is already between Lakel's and QO. Generally, when there are 2 safe laners who are just left to farm, they are within a few CS of each other. But the Slark has lost quite a bit. I'm not sure if it's because of pulls or if Centaur has messed him up a little bit, but this is a great start if you're Mith Trust.
He's missing some last hits. I don't know if we came at the wrong time, but he definitely missed a couple there. Missed another one there, actually. But Lakel's, obviously, he's a beast of burden. He's
4-minute Midas.
He's like, I think you said he was probably as far as, was it the carry role or the CS role?
Farmers.
Top 5. So, top 5 best farmers in the world.
Top 5 best farmer in the world, biggest free farm. Let's see, bottom lane, here we go, opening on the Prophet.
Forcing another TP out, there's the Sprout, Morphling's gonna go deep, he's gonna get first blood, Shadow Demon getting telekinesis at the meantime, but Rubik's gonna have to fall back. First blood, I mean, we're talking about how Mith Trust is all about, Mith Trust is all about late game, but they're still gonna be getting kills in this very early stage of the game because the lanes just are not in MVP's favor whatsoever. And MVP are applying 0 pressure. They're just playing pure defense mode. And against Mith Trust, I feel like that's a mistake.
This is just not going to work in the long run. They need to mobilize Slark early. And I feel Shadow Blade first item, or an Orchid if he wants to try to counter the Morphling that way.
God.
But this is a 5-minute Midas. And it's not just a 5-minute Midas, it's a 5-minute Midas and an additional 600 gold. We're going to hear Disruption. Bottom lane, TNK actually disrupted himself. I think that was a misclick. Or maybe he got scared of the Rubik, but nothing really going to come up from that. And Slark is not getting Midas. So again, in terms of greed, Mith Trust will definitely be getting more out of this. Mid lane, Razor is also out farming the Warlock as expected, and I love his build. Get the 3 points in Plasma Field, get the bottle, put pressure that way. It was either that or highest points in a static link and put pressure that way. But Either way, he is winning the lane, and that's what matters.
Well, I feel like for MVP to win, not that they're that far behind right now, but they're getting to that place where it could snowball out of control. But speaking of snowball, of course, Slark, as you talked about, one of the best snowball heroes in the game. So I feel like he's extremely important for MVP, and not to mention the X factor, as we'll call him, the Warlock, which I think most teams just aren't used to playing against Warlock. So you have to take. I mean, these are obviously top. Well, I don't know, top tier 2 teams, maybe?
Top tier 2.
Something like that. But either way, like, not playing against a certain lineup on a consistent basis can really mess with you.
That's something that's true for any tier, to be honest. The surprise factor is always important. And I don't think Mith really plays against it, so you're absolutely right. And one thing about Myth's lineup is that apart from Morphling, they have heroes that want to get into your face. Tree needs to go in close, Razor needs to go in close, Centaur needs to go in close. They're going to be stacking up one point or the other for this chaotic offering. And the question is if MVP can make a big play out of it. By the way, what do you think about March's skill build? He's got 3 points in Shadow Word and 2 points in stats instead of getting Fatal Bonds. And he's pretty even in his lane, but do you feel like that's the two worth the two?
Does he not have a bottle on Warlock?
No.
Is there nothing on the
Phase boots first.
Chicken or anything? That's interesting. Well, they obviously just want to push. I don't know what the stats are about. Is that to survive against the mid ganks? Although it didn't really work out too much in his favor there, but well, I guess it remains to be seen whether that's going to work out for him. That is odd, though. I mean, I feel like Fatal Bonds is so
It
good.
is really underrated in my opinion.
And even Upheaval, level 1 of that's really good.
Just 1 point, and that's good too.
A lot of value points for that Warlock, but we're not going to see it yet. Top lane, there comes a chaotic offering onto Razor, but the Stampede is going to actually pounce hits. Abba in quite a bit of trouble. You're seeing the Treant armor taking into account here. 1 kill goes the way of MVP, but the trade is immediately after from Mith Trust. And the Warlock Golem trying to apply a lot of pressure. The Centaur is just going to run away. Actually, the pounce is going to hit, so they're going to get 2 kills. Obviously runs in the wrong direction, but Lakel's, like we talked about, very active as that 1 roll, which is something you don't see very often. And a 2-for-1 trade for MVP, and it looks like this tower is going to go down.
Right? Oh, wrong.
Was it a 2-for-2?
I think it was just a 2-for-2.
Okay.
So if they don't lose the tower here, that's the really big deal, is that living armor can heal this tower up again. They're going to defend it so very nicely.
Oh, no destruction.
Oh, Slark, actually. That's a really huge kill. He's probably... No, he has his ult. He might not even die for this.
Well, he has pounce.
Nice play here from QO. And the tower falls, too. Very, very nicely done by MVP.
Get the nice double damage. Actually, Tree living on the edge there. I feel like Slark, if he had seen him, might have been able to turn around and get him pretty quick. Lothar's is going to be the item of choice on Slark. We're seeing a couple Arcane Boots coming out for each respective team. And March... What is he going for? Is he getting a point booster? So going straight for Ags, which obviously we love to see. And
it is arguably the best
Hand of Midas
on Warlock. Ags Refresher is the way you want to go if you want to win the game because of a core Warlock, so
how
not
can
surprised.
you see Warlock lose in that when you have both
Yeah, when
those
he has
items?
those 2 items, he has a really, really high win rate. I'm not sure what it is, but it's probably above 75. But it is about getting there. And I think in this game it might not even be enough because of Lakel's on the Morphling if he gets enough farm. He's still very, very far ahead. He's 15 CS ahead of Warlock and the Slark, who actually tied on CS. He did die there,
Look at the CS. Look at it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I mean, Slark's not even close to Morphling at this point. And, well, speaking of Slark, he's going to pounce
Got a creep.
into his own lane to try to get some creep kills. I feel like once they get that Shadow Blade, that's when you need to start going hardcore mode. But of course, the Warlock's not quite up there yet since he needs to get it. Well, he doesn't need to get his Ags, but it's still double the ult essential. It's 1.5 the ult, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the way it works on Warlock Ags is that you get 2 golems instead of 1, but the golems are weaker. They're
like 75%.
I think I can't remember the exact values of them. We're gonna see when he summons them. Maybe we can just compare. So they're trying to gather up here in the bottom lane to kill off Lakel's. I don't know if they can do it. He actually even has a replicate for the next 30 seconds. Tree is going to go invis. He's only level 4 though, so that level 1 leech is probably not going to do as much as he would like, but maybe they try for this. This is really impressive.
Long unit Stampede to follow, but here comes the chaotic offering. It's going to be turned around by MVP. Boom Bell on the run. Gonna go down. He's going to be the first casualty in this engagement. A very poor initiation from Mith Trust. Didn't get the Soul Catcher on the right unit. Not sure that would have mattered because the Ice Path was on point for the Jakiro. And this might transition to another push for MVP, which I'm actually shocked that the chaotic offering is off cooldown. I feel like that was very low cooldown overall, but... And of course with Liquid Fire, it's going to be easy pushing.
I don't think MVP will get this tower if Mith Trust play this right. Morphling has full HP and mana, but he's actually moving. They're just what? They're conceding the tower? Oh, never mind. Now QO is going to find Mikkel. They're going to be fighting a little bit and just wait for him, right? And Abba is doing a good job. Oh, wow. Almost got the kill on Rubik there. Chaotic Offering has 10 seconds left. There's the living armor. Yeah, this tower will fall. I'm surprised that Mith didn't try to defend that a little bit more than they did. They could have easily got a kill or two with the waveform there.
The Chaotic Offering is not... Oh, it actually is going to give some gold to the Centaur who boomed him out of nowhere.
Boom!
Absolutely. And right now, 3 or 4 advantage for MVP, so despite their lanes not being the greatest, they've actually fought decently well in these fights. And
this is a very early Shadow Blade, too, coming out for QO here, so... Yeah, MVP, it was looking a little shaky in the start, but now they've gained a 3,000 gold lead. Pretty much a negligible XP lead, so it doesn't really matter, but the gold is kind of a big deal, and perhaps... I think they need to do more. This is not going to be enough. They need to take the tier 1 mid as well, and they need to try to get Roshan within the team.
Oh, actually pops his Stampede too, but obviously not the longest of cooldowns, so I'm not going to miss out too much on that, but the Shadow Blade on Slark, that's what we're just talking about. And
he is so strong right now. That's an early Shadow Blade. He's 3-0 at Tread, Shadow Blade, and 600 gold. QO could be the deciding factor for MVP should they win this game. If he goes into an Orchid now, which I think would be a great choice, he doesn't necessarily have to build a more defensive build. Like sometimes you see Slark's getting Skadi or a BKB just for the health or the magic immunity, but the composition on Mith Trust don't really threaten him that much. So maybe an Orchid here just to be able to solo morph would be really good.
He could wait on the Skadi for quite a while here, just because there's huge amount of burst damage. Obviously there's Centaur, there's Morphling a little bit, but that, again, the shotgun's not going to be up for quite a while for Lakels, who is going for that Lincoln Sphere first. March at the top lane with those illusions might be getting ganked upon by Mith Trust, who are amalgamating together with 4 heroes. They better get this, or this is going to be a huge blunder. Actually, Nature's Guys. We don't see this very often on the gank attempts. There's
long disruption.
Catcher, do they have any follow-up? There's the Leech Seed, no TPs, actually one coming in right now. March on the run, marching away. Ha ha, pun intended, thank you very much. Looks like he'll go down to the Shadow Poison, if not the Adaptive Strike. Actually, no, he's gonna live.
It's gonna be another Plasma Field killing him now. Mikkel's already left. No, he's getting blocked. Oh, Treant almost messed up that kill.
Almost.
They did get it. By the way, that pun was absolutely fantastic. That goes into my book of puns I need to reuse. Thank you very much.
Recycle my puns.
Yeah, that was...
That Shadow Poison,
awful.
It must be level 1 because that did absolutely no damage. Abba getting caught out. Pounce is going to hit along with the extra damage from the Shadow Blade. He's going to try to steal some damage.
Oh, he might live.
Oh, does live with 15 HP. Thanks to that Buckler, as Mott is pointing out. Mott notes Buckler is good.
Buckler is a good item. It gives armor and keeps you alive. Awesome. So MVP are gathering up in mid lane again. They do have Chaotic Offering. I think they want to just bulldoze this tier 1 tower right now. And I don't know if Mith are in a position to defend this. Razor was forced back to base. Is Glyph available? Yes, it is. So perhaps they can actually hold this. Morphling has a TP as well. But maybe they're just conceding it once again. This Shadow Poison not going to be enough. It is level 3, as you pointed out when you said it was level 1. But I don't think they can hold it.
It did like no damage with 3 stacks. I don't know what to tell you. Tower will go down.
Oh no! Missed the deny.
So just with Nature's Prophet and Jakiro makes this a good pushing team, which is pretty crazy because the rest of the heroes not the greatest at pushing.
And Chaotic Offering wasn't used, so maybe they can go further.
Invis Rune, not going to take it. It's going to give it to the Warlock, I assume, who does not have Bottle. Is it normal not to get Bottle ever? Because I remember in our tournament they did get Bottle.
I think Warlock is one of the heroes where Bottle not necessarily... It isn't really necessarily that good in a Warlock mid, to be honest. I like the direction March took this. I think it's unnecessary and it's going to delay his other more important items by a bit, so... Warlock isn't really the hero that can use runes the best, and when you looked at how he played the lane, he was never really in need of health or mana, so... I think it's okay to skip it on that hero.
I'm still waiting for Rubik to steal Morph.
Yep.
Just waiting for it.
Currently he has Nature's Guise, which
he's going to have what?
Absolutely amazing.
He's going to have 1 agility, invisible. So his attack speed's going to be pretty amazing, obviously.
Look at him hanging out. He's like, oh, now he's, okay. How was he still invisible there? Oh. Looks like Mith might be aware of this, but they're like, okay, they must be in Roche, try to get a trade. And MVP are scared, it looks like. They aren't sure where Mith Trust are. And now that Morphling is showed top, there's actually a ping in the fog there as well. going to be very obvious what's going on right now.
Well, of course, they didn't know exactly because even with Morphling at top lane, you obviously could have a replicate with the rest of the team waiting in the wings. But now that they see that they're going to be committing the top tier 1 just to trade the Roshan, they'll take that, I believe.
I'm not sure who this favors.
Not sure.
I think I would call this even, because for me it doesn't come down to the Aegis as much.
Here come the TPs. This is going to be too late for MVP. Slark has
TNK
very
is
little
dead.
mana. We'll find the Shadow Demon. He's going to self-disrupt. We'll go down to that right clicks very shortly after. So they'll get 1 kill, Roshan as well for the tier 1.
Overall okay for both teams, I think. Lakel's, of course, was getting farm in the meantime as well. He's going to have a 17-minute Lincoln Sphere by the looks of it, so
and March is going to have about a 20-minute Ags at the latest.
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty sick.
That's a good time. It's not fantastic, but at this, he has 54 CS at 16, which really isn't that high, and has 2 deaths to his name. So overall, I think you're happy with that if you are MVP. And another tower trade will take place right now, but this one is a tier 2 for a tier 1. And easily advantage MVP as Prophet is split pushing bottom at the same time, so they're going to get some really good pressure out for this.
And Orchid almost finished on Nature's Prophet as well. Slark getting a little bit of harassment from the Centaur, but there's a telekinesis into the Shadow Demon to disrupt him. Self-disrupted, very nice. Ice Path to follow. Overgrowth, I believe, as well as Stampede used. Slark applying so much pressure to this Centaur. He's going to get stopped though. He is still invisible though, and the tower will go down. So they're going to end up getting 1 and the tower again. So MVP getting great trades overall.
How much damage is Lakel's going to be doing? Oh, he does get the tier 2. No deny.
Oh, okay, nice.
So, yeah. Mith should be happy with that. Oh, the courier!
Ooh.
Gonna not be... Okay. But everything in the game is afraid of fire, apart from the flying rabbit, which cannot
Rabbits,
burn.
Yeah, they don't burn. Come
Immune
on
to fire. And now it's just going to be stuck there for a bit for some
Warlock,
reason.
80 gold. Aghanim Scepter. So we're going to be seeing 2 golems very shortly. As you can see, the Lincolns is actually... Oh, that would have been a huge courier kill if they could have gotten that. But alas, Lakel's will be getting his Lincoln Sphere. And looking at some more item updates, Slark does go Ultimate Orb. So is this going to be the Scotty that you said probably wasn't a great idea? Actually, we have mechs on both teams now. On the Jakiro for MVP. And I believe it's on Razor for Mith Trust, which is a nice pickup, obviously. What do you think about the Slark actually getting Scotty now? It could potentially be something else, though.
Could be a Lincoln's, which would be good against the shotgun.
Oh, wow.
But...
Oh, wow, that's a really...
That's a fairly early blink
He's
dagger.
level 7.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That's nice here for Boombell. So, of course, the Shadow Demon has been doing the main part of the supporting. He doesn't really have any net worth to speak of. But Tran, 3.6k net worth is not too shabby. And that blink dagger could be really crucial in setting it up. Of course, it's a great counter to the Slark to hold him in place when he's not invisible. And there is the jump.
He gets jumped on the Orchid, doing so much damage. He's gonna pop. Can't get his replicate off. The Shadow Demon's gonna try to disrupt into the Soul Catcher, but in all likelihood, the Stampede will not save him. Although Centaur comes and destroys the Nature's Prophet. Shadow Demon will go down the right click of the Slark, TP out from Centaur. So it ends up being a 2-for-1, which could have been way worse for Mith Trust. You're seeing the Orchids come into play here for sure.
It's nice for Prophet to pick that up so Slark doesn't have to. I like that idea. Slark will probably be playing a bigger carry role here, and they're going to let Prophet be the one to control Morphling. So I'm assuming he goes from Orchid into Hex. Book 3 is also an option, has great synergy with Warlock's ability to push with the Chaotic Offering. But so far so good for MVP getting those 2 kills there. I think that was a great trade for them. They're 4,000 gold and experience ahead at this point. Are starting to take decent control of the map. It all comes down to whether Mith can defend right now. Warlock's ultimate is on cooldown, and Tran could get a really, really good opening with his newly bought Blink Dagger.
Yep, everybody's up for Mith Trust. I would be if they don't.
Oh, we said that the last 2 times as well. I'm not quite sure why they didn't try to defend that, and I think they should be trying to defend this one too.
Well, I'm not sure MVP wants to go get
Imagining Living Armor will come up.
Do they know that he has Blink Dagger? I mean, Rubik,
no,
obviously showing his. Yeah, Treant Protector waiting in the wings here.
Rubik blinked in. Did not reach.
Oh, and there.
Okay.
Structures are fortified.
The Fortify is used, and this is just a huge stalemate. In fact, Mith Trust is just wrapping around. Yeah, Morphling just farming top, has a replicate, I'm sure, somewhere.
Nope.
Okay, he doesn't have a replicate. So they're actually giving up this tier 2. Interesting play. He gets the Ghost Scepter, so going straight for the shotgun.
Tower is under attack.
And and this tower will be falling now. There's no way they can defend it.
Liquid Fire is so good. Slark has 2 ultimates, so he's definitely
has fallen.
the ultimate, or the Scotty, I should say.
He's going to be beastly. He has the same net worth as the Morphling who went Midas. That's a huge deal.
It's pretty big.
Kuro is getting a lot this game with his 100 CS and of course his 4 in 0. Lakels is easily ahead on the CS, but he has 2 deaths and he hasn't been on the team that took 4 towers, 5 towers actually, and Roshan. So looking good for MVP. They still need to close out the game in a timely manner, I think. I do not believe Slark will be able to outcarry this lineup in the late game, since there are some decent counters to him on Mith. Not the best in the world, but still some pretty good ones. Boy, that's an early Scotty. He is looking very, very
so
scary.
early. Well, with Aghanim Scepter,
Am I bottom again?
still haven't seen the
Prophet
chaotic offering
is
come
ready to
play.
TP in with the Orchid. They're going to go right away, but Lakel's...
Lakel's too good. He did this so many times in the games that we cast. I don't know how. He has spidey senses or something like that, because he's out every single time. He split pushes to his heart's desire. Morphling and company will finish off the Nature's Prophet in the jungle, and they'll probably transition this into a tier 2 top. And I'm not sure if he can actually get there in time here.
It's going to be a close call, I think. Rubik is heading
And
up here.
the Roshan's Aegis is now up, so Slark doesn't have that security. But of course, with the newly picked up Scotty, which Mith Trust does not know about, and the Aghanim Scepter, which I'm sure they know about on Warlock, which we haven't seen come into effect yet, be pretty big in this next upcoming team fight.
Do have a pause. So let's just have a look at the current standings. So Morphling is the net worth leader by very little. The 2 followers for MVP easily ahead of the Razor, and Warlock is getting somewhere, right? He is going to get the refresher orb before he's level 16, more than likely. Is that enough to end the game, or take racks at least? I think you want to do that against Mith Trust's lineup, even though you can fight the late game still.
Well, that's the question. Is Nature's Prophet, Treants plus Jakiro, Liquid Fire, is that enough to push down racks?
With 4 Infernals? Pretty scary.
Yeah, 4 Infernals, and then you have Slark with his ultimate. He can just go in and out, and once he has that Aegis again, which of course is the dire advantage, you just have to assume they're going to get it again. I mean, that's the beauty of Slark. You get almost to killing range, and you just back up, go back in about 10 seconds, and you're full HP again. So Mith Trust has... They're definitely playing from behind, but we've seen them do this before.
Yeah,
of course.
For me, it's the biggest question is when Lakel's starts making use of the shotgun. He has that in 1400 gold. Will be able to one-shot quite a few heroes on the dire side. He will definitely be able to one-shot the Rubik. He will be able to one-shot the Prophet, I think, because of his item build, which was... He only has strength treads to give him strength here.
I wonder if he can one-shot a chaotic offering golem.
Yeah, he probably can do that as well.
Is that worth it?
Sometimes.
When you have 4, maybe?
It's kind of situational. Yeah, if he has 4, then
There's
maybe
still
not.
3, you know? What are you going to do?
Or even just casually use it on the Slark to decrepify him, right? So he can't attack. That's also pretty useful. And of course, I feel like we haven't seen the static link so much yet. And if they can set that up and he can drain all the damage from Slark, it actually doesn't really matter what item Slark has. If he gets drained in that fight, he is going to be out of it for a very long time.
And again, not I'm going to reuse a phrase, beat a dead horse, but Abba, what has he done this match?
Has he really been marching enough with March this match?
No.
No. Okay.
Like I feel like he has no impact on these games. Like, he's getting good items, he's not dying, he's not feeding, he's not playing terribly, but just not doing anything. I don't know what to say. As we're continue this pause. God knows what's going on. This is SCA, so I guess it's to be expected. I'm looking at the wrong camera again. Good lord, Brian. That's why the TV's here. Exactly. Well, if the game continues at it, do you think that MVP has enough to take out Mith Trust in this game?
Based on raw late game experience, I still think Lakel's is going to pull through. But it's definitely not out of the question that MVP can do it. With Slark's farm right now, and of course with Prophet. Prophet is getting good farm too. He's still a really fragile target, but later on in the game he's going to be harder to kill. Warlock, of course, is also, like we said, we've kind of talked about this a lot. I think we should maybe be focusing a little bit more on the supports, what they're going to do later on. We've talked about the cores. Okay. How good is Jakiro late game? How good is Rubik late game? Rubik can't really steal anything amazing, apart from maybe Disruption, a clutch Disruption. Maybe the Stampede can be useful. Apart from that, Perhaps Overgrowth, if he pulls that off, could be useful, but that's still Overgrowth against the Shotgun Morphling, not really that overwhelming. And then on the other side, Shadow Demon to me is one of the 3 best late game supports, just hands down amazing.
Disrupt your own Morphling and you're good to go, essentially.
Save the target, they go on with the Orchid. You've got Treant, who arguably also falls off late game though, so perhaps fairly even, but I still give Myth supports a little bit of an edge in the late game in total against this, unless Jakiro starts getting some really big items.
Well, that's the thing. Well, Rubik, actually, I feel like is a bigger deal for MVP here because he hasn't stolen Morph yet. I'm still waiting for it.
Yep.
I know you kind of...
All right, we're resuming.
We're going to resume the match here, but...
Production!
You're not as crazy about that steal as I am, but I really feel like it's huge if you can get something that helps Rubik survive in team fights. I mean, which that definitely would, but looks like Mythtrust is going to think better of actually pushing this tier 2 at top. Abaha is going to continue to farm and not do anything else. Am I being too hard on Abaha?
I don't feel like he could have done that much more in this game.
I can't put my finger on what he could do better. He's just not doing anything.
That is the hero right now. That Razor, unless if you run the team fight lineup and want to take fights, he is kind of an underwhelming mid-game hero. Can't really gank too well. And
oh, they're gonna find him now. The hoof stomp too late. Too late.
Central got like second thoughts there about whether he wanted to go for that or not. Hesitate a little bit on the stomp and didn't get it. I don't think they could have killed him anyway though. So Lark would have been fine through that. He has 1700 health that they have to carve through. What do you know? We've got a pause.
SEA in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen.
Mouse problem. Oh, I can relate to that. I had that a moment ago until I figured out how to change the sensitivity on this mouse.
Well, see, if I was a pro player, I'd have like tons of bathroom breaks. I'd have a lot of gastrointestinal problems, but that's first world problems, really.
How are you enjoying that cup of tea? Is it good?
I don't know.
Gods is actually getting me one right now. I'm really excited about it. What does it taste like?
Well, you know I'm not a huge fan of tea, but it is. It's
so why did you get one?
Well, he actually brought. He must think I sound terrible, which I probably do. But
subtle message.
Yeah, God, you sound awful. Drink this awful tea.
Or just generally just drink so you're not talking.
Or that.
Just shut up.
Well, it does feel good. It does feel good. 1,700 gold in Warlock's Bank. Looking forward to this refresher. I feel like he's going to get it.
To me, it's not a question about if he gets it. It's about when he gets it. There's no doubt to me that will be an item in this game. Thank you very much, Gods. Love me some tea.
Man, Gods is so helpful today. Really appreciate that, bro.
It's unfortunate we don't have him on camera so we could laugh at him and mock him, but I'm not going to do that to Mott, because Mott's a good guy. He writes some excellent notes that help us all out.
Tea is good for throat, Mott notes.
So what's the mod note? What's the mod note of this game right now?
Can we get on camera and just drink tea together? Have tea time with Sunsfan and Cinder? Because God knows how. Oh no, the game's coming back up. That is really unfortunate.
Thank God they saved me from you.
Oh, that sucks. Okay, well I guess we're gonna have to cast this game after all. But probably in the next minutes we'll have another pause. So
consolation
that very soon.
This is intense tea, like that. Okay.
But the MVP needs to push. You're right, they're on a timetable of sorts. Slark is off to an amazing, well, I guess you can't call it a start anymore. He's playing a really great game. And they have enough push, they have enough sustainability. They have the mech. I don't feel like they need a pipe, per se. Do they need a pipe? Not really.
No.
Double edge? Is that, you get it just for double edge? Just so I don't say boom? I don't know.
Boom.
Boom!
Prophet just got a Maelstrom. I'm surprised with this pickup. I thought he was going to get a Scythe against the Morphling, so perhaps that gives Smith a little bit more time, because he's probably going to turn this into a Mjolnir. It is starting to become a classic item. Prophet makes you push a lot faster. Of course, he can give the Mjolnir to the Slark, which is very, very powerful. I would have personally preferred the Hex, though. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I completely agree. We've seen teams go against Mythtrust, and then they try to go late game, even though their lineup is built for mid game. And I think that's a mistake, but it may not matter. I mean, it's obviously good for pushing the lanes. Once you get actual Mjolnir put on Slark, it's pretty crazy, obviously. Especially against non-BKB targets, which there's 0 on Mythtrust right now. So, suppose keep that in mind. I mean, Morphling's not really a typical BKB carrier. You don't always get it. Mythstar never gets it. Razor, not that often. Picks up BKB, not very.
Sometimes Razor's
it's not like completely core.
Razor seems to be getting it here. I thought he was getting an Axe actually, but he will be getting BKB. Still, it's
fail.
Yeah, good. Oh, your calls are on point today. Amazing. It's I'd say the BKB makes sense here. There is a lot of spell power to counter from MVP here, but I would agree the Centaur should not be getting a BKB right now. I think that there's better items to get. Looks like either he gets just the hood or he gets the full pipe against MVP. It's not necessarily a good pickup, but still it helps quite a lot against the Jakiro. It helps against Wrath of Nature, Fate Bolt,
You want a pipe?
the
Or
Immolation.
BKB?
Yeah, pipe. The Immolation against Chaotic Offering.
Right. Well, pipe makes so much more sense against MVP than vice versa. So
Yeah, I would agree.
they're grouping up towards Roche. We're seeing the smoke now on Mith Trust.
Oh, it's just a bait from MVP. This could be huge. Warlock is so good right here.
Oh,
This
boy.
is like the best arena for him to fight in.
In the arena.
They might walk
Warlock.
into it.
They actually, the smoke's dissipated, so they know they're up there.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
the
they're
thing.
going to go in here.
Yeah, from KYT.
I feel
Man,
like
if
we haven't
Mith would
really-
have gone in there, they would.
We haven't really seen the Rubik blink come into effect yet either, which
Nope.
could be pretty game breaking if they're able to get it off. Oh, Roshan's now up. And MVP, as you can see, Mott is circling the ward, so they know it's there. Mott knows it's coming to effect for MVP now, so it's just catching on to all regions apparently. Slark is always going to get hooked off. Can they get the kill is the question. Oh, they blow him up to the Ethereal Blade, which was just picked
That
up by
was a gem.
Lakel's. Oh, Slark had the gem.
Yep, gem
Oh, wow.
on the trend as well. That's
a big turnaround
That's like
there.
the biggest kill they could get by far. And here we go. We've got a Lakel's late game shaping up. Razor will have the BKB flying out now as well, so can obviously... I think the BKB here allows him to stay in the fight and drain Slark, and that's his main objective. I really hope we get to see Abba get a significant drain off here. It's just so damn good against melee heroes, honestly. And of course, Slark can't dispel it at all.
Right.
Dark Pact doesn't remove it.
Nothing does.
Even if he goes in ultimate, which makes him completely invisible, the chain still follows him.
BKB doesn't stop it, Manta doesn't stop it.
There's no way of stopping
There's literally nothing to
Only
counter other
Lincoln
than running away.
Only Lincoln.
Oh, well, sure.
But Slark is not getting that.
Yeah, there's no way.
This is a
no
big
way.
play. MVP are totally not in position. They're going to send a Tria now. Are they going to make it down here, though? This could be a potential play for MVP.
Oh, he's getting pretty low. Chaotic Offering's actually used right away. Boombell almost did right off the bat. Roshan is going to go down to the Radiant, though. And Morphling picks up the Aegis. This is probably MVP's cue to get the hell out of here. Abba pops his BKB. He's going to take the right clicks from Slark, along with the Nature's Prophet. Looks like it's going to be his demise. It is a one-for-one trade at the end of the day with the Aegis going the way of Mith Trust, but Centaur gets caught out with the Ice Wall. And it looks like Boombell will follow suit. So 3 dead for the Aegis.
Radiant's
Probably,
tower is under
actually the
attack.
gem as well.
I think
didn't
the
realize
Kells
it was on
forgot
him.
where his replicate was. He jumped down here.
He wants to farm.
He got the Aegis and he was like, okay, guys,
Did
I'm
you see
out.
that?
Good luck.
His Midas was off cooldown. That's top priority, no
That's
matter
true,
what.
yeah, that's bigger than saving
What is
2
this
teammates
courier
and
doing?
winning a fight. I think Lakel should have stayed there. He got the Aegis. Even if he gets killed, maybe he gets 1 or 2 kills with a shotgun, which was off cooldown. That was just a misplay, to be honest. He could have been more confident there. So overall, MVP getting a 3-for-1 exchange. At
I thought they could have gotten out with that Stampede, to be honest. But
Yeah, perhaps as well. But the Treant died and lost his gem, so he's going to have to buy a new one here, and that's a big investment.
wow, the split pushing from Lakel's is going to be coming into effect with those boots
Yep.
of travel. We see this every single time with him. And what does he usually buy after that? I can't remember. Is it, I haven't seen him go Scotty
Mostly Manta, I believe.
Okay,
At
Manta.
this point, which
yet. I think we've seen Butterfly, we've seen... Wait, who
even
bought
know.
the heart on Morphling? That wasn't him, right?
It was Lakel's too.
Lakel's?
Yes.
Oh god, that was awful.
that was
But-
a little weird.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the reasoning was there, but in
But
this game, I don't think
haven't
Manta
seen-
is that good, to be honest.
I hadn't seen Scotty on him though. Have you? I don't remember seeing Scotty on him one time.
No.
Which is really odd.
I think the game's ended before he got Scotty, which is probably his 6th item choice.
Okay.
I think he should get it now, to be honest. Either that or a Butterfly.
James left and right.
That gem is just changing hands.
All right, tell me, Rubik Aghanim's. You get 2 purges.
That's
You
true.
get the
Amazing
what's Razor's
Aghanim's
ult? What's Razor's ult called?
makes it hit.
Eye of the Storm? No, I
Yep.
know what it does.
Yeah,
It hurts
okay.
buildings or whatever. And I think that's it. Nobody else gets I feel like this is a weird
Oh,
pickup.
what if you steal Replicate? Maybe you get global castration.
Bottom
Sure.
tower is under attack.
That would be the elite seed on the Arch. Oh, here comes
Nice.
Oh my god, Centaur Nival got his boom. Nice zoning, Ice Wall to follow suit. They're actually going to
Lakel's ran out of mana.
alive, surprisingly enough. Lakel's, like you said, out of mana. Probably just going to be resigned to getting this tier 2 along with the Nature's Prophet, who's not sure what he's doing there, but he's dead. And now you're seeing the blink come into effect for Rubik. I feel like that. Okay, is it the Bloodstone? Like, I have a hard time believing this is Aghanim Scepter on Rubik. Is there something I'm missing?
Demonic Purge is just really, really damn good against Mith, but I would agree it might not be enough
It's
to
not that easy to
justify
take,
that pickup. And you're right, it's not really that easy to steal, because the visual cue isn't that obvious. There is the sound, though, that you can go by, but it's also easy for Shadow Demon to just cast Purge and then just cast something else.
Right.
Shadow Poison has a very low cooldown, it's almost available.
Well, I would say it's probably easier to steal it from Razor, which will help you push,
Yeah.
which is your ultimate goal, of course. But
It's still not good enough. I think I would agree with you, Rubik should have gone for something else, unless it's just a value point booster.
Yeah, I was gonna say point booster still gives really good HP. So
But he doesn't need the mana, right? He has 1100 mana, there's no way he needs that.
he could just steal Morph.
Yes.
Be done with it.
Yeah. Why aren't you doing this?
Seriously. Do you think that there's people that don't know that exists?
I would be shocked if these teams don't know that, but I just think he hasn't had the opportunity, to be honest. The one time where I saw where I was like, wow, he could steal it right now, he was level 5. So, might still be looking for the opportunity. Big item pickup on Slark, he's going to get the BKB now. So, will be a lot harder to shotgun down at this point. This might just be the Q to go for MVP, honestly.
Yeah.
QO is really strong. Should not be going on Lakel's, but pretty much on anyone else, especially if he can kill a Razor fast. We might see the opening here.
Oh, he's gonna get the static link right away. Of course, that goes through BKB, which is now popping chaotic, offering to follow Lakel. Trying to do so a lot, but he only at half HP. TNK is gonna go down to the Slark. BKB on Razor, not doing a whole lot. You're seeing Rubik steal. Worthless which is actually going to help him on all Lakel's on the run. Ice Bat's going to hit him, along with chaotic offering. Telekinesis to follow. He's a dead Morphling. Of course, Aegis will pop him back up. Can he get out? Gets fast right away to the Orchid, and goodbye Lakel's. Wrong place, wrong time. MVP doing a really good job of zoning him out. And I'm not sure if Warlock is finished with the refresher. It might be coming on the courier right now. If it is, that is huge, and it is. That's disgusting.
They don't get a collateral this time, though, because they don't have creeps in the base. The waves are too far away. I think Lakel's will be back pretty much when they reach the base, and the chaotic offerings will expire. But as you said, refresher available on Warlock. Needs to be a little careful with his mana pool. Actually, using the refresher right away, they just want to go again. They're going to go down mid, use the surprise factor here, and if they pull that off, they could almost be ending the game.
Yeah.
There's no rebuy on the Morphling right now.
I don't think people do this enough before they get refresher. They feel like they have to use 2 in a fight when you could just use 1, use a refresher and just wait a bit, or even use it like he's doing now in fog so they don't know.
Yeah, this could be huge.
This could be pretty big, but the
If
last...
he's not using it, though, then it's kind of weird.
Yeah, this is weird now that they're not doing it. BKB on Nature's Part, perhaps they're waiting for that. Of course, he has Mjolnir, so he has a lot of HP, a lot of attack speed, and the Orchid is what I feel like has been almost every kill on Lakel's has been because of the Orchid.
I also think that in these last 2 fights, Lakel's is fighting without mana, and that's just not going to work on a hero like Morphling. I'm very surprised he doesn't... Of course he wants to farm all the time, but sometimes you just need to sacrifice it, be like, okay, I'm going to lose 5 CS to go back and get my full mana pool so that I can actually be useful in the fight. In that last fight, he got a shotgun off, he got the 1 Adaptive Strike off, and he was out of mana. He couldn't even waveform, he couldn't replicate, he didn't really bring anything to the table before his Aegis, and after the Aegis he just got killed, so... He needs to be a little more careful with his mana economy here. And we're going to see another attempt here from MVP. This could be huge. QO is going to go in.
Well, he's not going to find anybody. Soul Catcher is the only thing that finds him, actually. He's going to back up for now. Lakel
Oh,
gets
he only
Orchid
hit the
in. Here
creep.
comes the hook stop initiation. Slark is dead right away. I don't freaking believe it. Meantime, Centaur taking a lot of damage. Looks like he might go down to this MVP lineup, which has the chaotic offering following him in suit. Of course, the refresher, I believe, is down here.
Just sitting here. They have no detection. Wow, March had
That could
sentries.
point out, I don't believe it.
March had sentries there.
Did Slark not use BKB? Like,
No, he got immediately burst. The Centaur jumped in, got the stun off.
well, the Soul Catcher was on him the whole time.
And
He
the Soul
didn't-
Catcher was on.
He didn't, what's the first spell called?
Dark Pact.
He didn't Dark Pact it off, I
No.
guess?
And
That
Lakel's
was
there.
his death.
That's just, if you saw that, the Prophet uses the Sprout very nicely on the Kells to break the Lincolns, then he Orchided the range creep. So the Kells did get to use Adaptive Strike. Of course, he can still use Ethereal Blade when he's silenced, but if he doesn't Adaptive Strike there, Slark survives, their turnaround, maybe they win the fight. That's an absolutely huge outcome of this fight, that Lakel's gets a little more time. The Warlock ultimate is now going to be on cooldown for another 100 seconds unless he refreshes it, but then again, he only has 1 at that point. If you're Myth Trust now, you just buy time. Why the hell do they have 2 gems on Treant?
Do the better. 2 eyes. One for each. Oh, wow. Okay, so talking
There's
about
the-
Razor not going for Diffusal because it's not a typical pickup, he's going to do it. That means
We'll
one
remove
of the two.
them. One of the four.
One of the four now, I guess.
But still, it's relevant. It is important. And they also give gold, which, of course, isn't the major problem.
Cal. Centaur's going to turn it around, though. QO getting locked down. Uses his ultimate to stay alive. So far, no deaths, but Treant will be the first.
Oh my god!
Actually. Okay, they do find him.
Oh, so what happened? He just gave away 2 gems.
This is so weird.
These gems are switching hands so many times.
Yeah, Mith Trust is playing a lot like yesterday.
I still can't believe that he would carry 2 gems. Why not put one on the courier so you have one in base? There's like absolutely no point in running around with 2 gems. That was a little weird. Have we called Albert on the Centaur, by the way?
We haven't talked about it, Mil.
Okay, so that's obviously going to be a great item against the Slark once he's out of the BKB. It's still an 8-second BKB though, so I think it's going to take a longer time. He could use it on the Prophet, but he also has an 8-second BKB.
Well, Mith Trust is kind of banking on the fact that they delay this until the BKB is actually like 4 seconds, and then
I think they're going to lose racks in 30 seconds.
It could very well be. Of course, only 1 minute left. Still Roshan is up. MVP, if they get that, that could be GG for Mith Trust in this game 1. But Lakel's, there's always the Lakel's factor. Question is what item is he going to go for next? He picks up the Yasha, which was a while ago. Do you think he finishes the Manta here? He's getting burst down like way too much. Maybe just start going for Scotty.
Yeah, health would be great, I believe.
Maybe go for that heart from yesterday.
Well, if he wants to do that, I think he should get a butterfly and just morph into strength. I still think that's more effective HP in the fight. Against Slark, against 4 Warlock Infernals, and against the Nature's Prophet, the evasion is going to be absolutely huge. I think that's probably the best item choice here, is to get that, get the butterfly going. Either that or the Scardy. Scardy. Definitely not a Manta style. I would not recommend it. It's going to be immediately blown away by all the AoE on MVP.
Have we seen the static link on Slark in a main team fight actually work?
A little bit in that bottom fight before.
A little bit.
Yeah, but still not enough.
In theory, this pick's amazing, but it just hasn't really worked out for me.
It's about combining it so that you catch Slark with Demonic Purge and then you drain him, because then he can't outrun you. No matter what he uses, he's going to be slow in the Demonic Purge. But we haven't really seen that out of Mith Trust so far, and I'm a little bit surprised, because with the openings they've had, it's not the hardest combo to pull off when Centaur gives them these great initiations with the Hoofstuff most of the time with the Slark. Make sure you immediately drain him and take him out of the fight that way.
Duo is going to find Roshan eventually.
Oh, he found him.
After pouncing horribly into the trees, but nobody saw it. It's all good. And I'm not sure if Mith Trust even wants to fight this. I mean, they still have the Blink Dagger and Treant Protector, which we've seen a couple decent overgrowth, but nothing to write home about, really. Nature's Prophet now has the Deso.
He's really farmed.
Yeah.
He has a higher CS than Morphling now.
They do a ton. They have really good team fight. They have a lot of right-click damage now. I'm starting to think that Mith Trust is relying on Lakel's too much. Yeah. Like, you could always, maybe even steal just Nature's Prophet's damage at this point. What do you think about that? A little bit easier.
Yeah, perhaps. The problem for Razor is that he's just starting to fall too far behind on gold. We're reaching this point when Razor's strength really fades because he's not tanky enough to go in the fights any longer. If he starts draining, maybe he just gets killed flat out by Prophet and the Slark. And of course the 4 beyond enough rings is going to be absolutely insane. I can't imagine Mith Trust winning a team fight if MVP do it right. I just don't know what they're supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, we talked about at the beginning of the game, theory crafting with the Aghanims, Refresher, Mid, Warlock. Once you get that, it's just very difficult to actually win it, to lose to that, or to lose with it, I guess you could say. And that's where we're at right now. We still have 8 charges on the Diffusal Blade for Razor, so hasn't really found any place to use it, so we haven't had a team fight since. But with the Aegis, I really don't see Mith Trust winning this game. I mean, huge uphill battle. I mean, look at Centaur. I've been talking about KYT playing so well in Centaur in Qualifiers. He just hasn't done a whole lot.
I just don't agree with this at all. I don't think this is going to help too much. Sure, he can break the Orchid, which is great, but I just don't know if he can stand the fight anyway. Even if he breaks the Orchid, if he gets hit by these abilities, he's going to flat out die before he can waveform.
Plus with all the AoE, the illusions will get
Yeah, the illusions won't do anything. He gets this exclusively to break Orchid, I think. There's no other reasoning for this to be a great item here in comparison to the alternatives, so.
Slark with the Aegis and Cheese, very greedy Slark, but I guess that's to be expected.
Very strong Slark.
That too.
Fair enough for him
He
to
has
have
3k. What does he go for next? Basher?
Abyssal would be good. Either Abyssal or... Yeah, I think that's the best choice here. Since Lekels isn't going Butterfly, he doesn't need MKB yet.
Use
so
your
I think
Midas.
Abyssal's good.
Use it.
Get rich.
Quick.
Find creep.
But Lekels just hasn't felt the same. I don't know if it's him. It's not him, though. I feel like Centaur hasn't created enough space from this game.
It's also hard to initiate into MVP's lineup, though. Mid lane, speaking of space,
Good
created.
So that's a hero that can kill every time of the Ethereal Blade comes
Back
into
Prophet.
bottom lane. Slark gonna force the BKB off of Abba. There's a key offering. Xenius with pressure on top of it. Good God, look how many golems there are. Razor go down in less than a second. Jesus, Pop.
Prophet died a second time.
Morphling died. Did he buy back or something?
Prophet died.
Shadow Demon's gonna self-disrupt defensively. March goes down to the right click to Lekels. That's a pretty big kill, although the chaotic offerings are already out. Look at them just chase away at this Lekels, who gets pounced upon. Nice Ethereal Blade's gonna keep him alive for a little bit. He's gonna wait for him away. And Abba still feel like he's just, I don't know, defensive disruption yet again. And this is the beauty of Slark. As we talked about, Jakiro will go down, but he can just go in and out to his heart's content. 3 dead for MVP, and a lot of buybacks thrown from Mith Trust. Abba goes down to the Slark, and it's 1v1 battle. Here comes Centaur, nice foot stomp. Not gonna be able to take him out, but Lekels will take out the Aegis. Rubik on the run, but they better be careful, this Shadow Demon especially. Well, unfortunately, that does not work against Disruption, but the Blink Dagger Rubik should be enough to secure this kill.
That was a sick defense from Myth. And I think the only reason they actually managed that was Prophet TP'd in way too aggressively. He TP'd in here. He bought back already after he got ganked in the mid lane. He immediately TP'd in aggressively, got locked down, got killed. He was out for 100 seconds. He didn't have the impact in the fight. He has the highest net worth on his team. He got brought down, and they still almost won the fight. Just, you can imagine how hard that would have been.
Essentially, that's a dieback from Razor and Nature's Prophet.
Yeah.
Correct?
But Morphling did not die, and that means he almost has the Scotty. So now we're reaching the point where it's actually going to get scary. There's the Ags pickup for Rubik. Still not sure exactly what he really wants to steal with that. Sure, it's not only about the ultimate giving you the Ags upgrade. He gets 5-second cooldown, which we haven't really talked about, which is obviously amazing. And since Ryzen has only died once, he's actually staying at a really good range and not getting caught out, so he will be able to steal a lot of good spells during the fight. Whether this is the best pickup, though, I am still not sure about, but it is something to keep in mind that there are some pretty good abilities to steal.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point, but still no Morph, which is really sad.
Still hasn't got it.
I was gonna run through the Treant Protector. Of course, I don't even know who has the gems anymore at this point in the game. Just swapping hands left and right. Everybody has a new owner. Looks like Razor has one, so it's one on each team. That's good to hear. So each team has one respective gem, which I believe they both bought one to begin with as well. So actually, it's as if nothing has happened. As if nobody's died repeatedly with 2 gems on them or anything like that. Looks like Jakiro's going to be getting an Aghanim Scepter. That should be pretty cool. Do they have enough lockdown to actually secure that damage output?
It's pretty good together with double Chaotic Offering. I mean, that's some decent stun duration. But that's kind of all they have. That and Ice Path.
Oh,
mid lane.
Abba taking Chaotic Offering in the face. You're seeing Refresher used again.
Double
Abba taking
for
so
that?
much damage. He's going to BKB. He's going to be able to get out.
Oh my god, if he would have got out of that.
But still, that's really expensive to kill a Razor who has had no impact on this game.
They're not getting... If they're getting Rex with that, I think it's going to be a trade. Or maybe not. Well, Mith Trust are going to try to trade. They know that Abba is down, can't buy back. Double Chaotic Offering, of course, will still be living on for another 35 seconds. But Lekels is starting to put some really heavy pressure here.
Yeah, but there's 4 golems in mid lane. That's pretty good overall.
This is good enough for Myth, I feel.
Yeah, if they can trade, they'll take this any day of the week. And say, oh my god,
they're
even
even faster.
They're going to do it. They get the melee rack. Centaur getting initiated, but Jakiro gets blown up by Morphling. Centaur very...
They don't even lose their barracks, are you kidding me?
God, are you serious? This is a huge misplay from MVP Phoenix. Again.
And he's going to farm 4 of these.
Wow. Well,
Lekels gets another bonus 400 gold.
Lekels is a beast.
7,000 gold suddenly.
Okay, so tell me if I'm being too harsh. They kill a hero who's done almost nothing this game, and they push. I mean, they use their entire... Okay, they still have the 4 golems pushing, sure, but they don't have the stun.
Yeah,
right?
that was just
They don't have
overkill.
the 2 stuns, which are huge in a team fight. And then they just lose racks at top to the Morphling. Very careless play from MVP. Slark picks up the Abyssal Blade, but I feel like they're still ahead, but this is really weird.
I can understand where MVP were coming from with that. They just underestimated how fast Lakelz was pushing. Of course, the point there is just when they're down the two Chaotic Offering ultimates and when Razor is out, you know that Mith can't fight you. They don't want to fight into that, no way in hell, but they thought they were going to push faster than Lakelz and can't necessarily blame them for it. I mean, there's a Desolator on the Prophet, you have a Slark who's hitting really, really hard, and then you have 4 Golems. You would think that you could at least trade, but they didn't even get the trade.
Well, they didn't have a Fortify either, I believe, right? As Rubik quite low. Ice Path, along with the Orchids, can be used on Lakelz. Doesn't feel like he's in too much danger, just has a Replicate up. Just gonna run away.
Him out.
He's very good at gauging whether he's going to be able to live or not. That's something I've noticed with him. Abba's
Nice
chase.
1,000 gold after this guy.
Seriously?
Oh, that's a huge
Sprout,
kill!
Abba, can he TP away? He has no TP at all. Well, unfortunately, will die inside the Sprout.
He's still getting the damage from QO. A little bit surprising. Oh, Shadow Demon barely getting out here. How many Chaotic Offerings are available? 2 in 10 seconds. They better get the barracks now.
Yeah. Well, it's the same scenario, though. This time, Morphling will be here, though, so...
Yes. But he has buyback, and he is really strong. Perhaps, if they pull a play here where they one-shot the Warlock before he uses his ultis, that's absolutely huge, and that's what I think Central will be looking for. March needs to be careful with his positioning, but he does have a Blink Dagger.
Indeed. MVP going to be grouping up.
They're already pinging him.
Of course, the fortification.
They want to go!
Down. Here comes the initiation. Nice overgrowth, but here comes the cap. Double time. Lakelz very low, but of course he has buyback. I'm not even sure he wants to get out of here. March pops his mech. They're just, it's like they're half chasing. They're not committing to this.
They didn't get anything.
Lakelz,
oh, they lift him!
He lifted it, doesn't get his TP off, unfortunately. Shadow Demon's going to go down. Lakelz still on the back end. Finally, Morph is taken. Jesus H, Rubik, thank you, God. Takes the Morph. They're going to transition to the bottom lane now. It's these 4 Chaotic Offering. Columns go to work along with this Deso. Lakelz TP's back to base.
That telekinesis might have been the biggest play of the game.
Equivalent to the $1 million coil. Well, they're going to get 2 racks.
And two of them are melee as well.
Stolen Rubik's spell. How much health does Rubik have? Please. Please. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, 1 armor.
That's hot. That's so hot.
I hate you.
I love Rubik. Stealing Morph. Can't say it enough.
So, Morphling didn't die, but that telekinesis just gave them at least the bottom melee racks. I don't think they would have claimed that. Maybe they would have claimed the mid. But still an absolutely huge play here coming out from Ryzen, who we talked about for this series, arguably a big playmaker for MVP. Sees the opportunity there to break a TP and makes a really big play.
There it is.
Finally,
there it is.
Side of Ice on the Prophet, a Ganums on the Jakiro.
A Ganums?
I started saying A, I was kind of stuck. And Lakelz, Prophet. Does he have buyback? Yes, he does. This is a bold play from Mith Trust. If they, oh man, that's just so brutal in
and
this
they're stuck in there with the Nature's Prophet of Zip. He's going to get him through. He's going to be a little chicken. Disruption. Follow. Right click from Slark onto the Centaur, but we're going to be watching. Wow, Razor just gets decimated to this Slark. Lakelz on the run. Agility Morph. Don't do it too much, good sir. He's going to get the kill on Nature's Prophet, who buys back right off the bat. Boom Bell trying to run away. Looks like as if he might get away. Oh, Lakelz, you're going to get lifted again. No, they don't get the vision.
Oh my goodness, he has a Replicate out there. He might be going for a kill. The Slark is still here, the Replicate, but now it's going to get killed off, and that's probably going to be a Roshan for MVP. But Prophet bought back. We could have a situation again where he gets killed off and can't buy back again. Unless they give him the Aegis, then it's kind of no problem. But this one is going to go on Slark. The cheese will go to March on the Warlock. And BKB now on the Morphling. So will not be victim of the Rubik telekinesis once anymore. That's a good sentence. Cannot get hexed, cannot get orchided. I think this is the right time to get it. The moment the hex comes off for Prophet, Lakelz item builds against it. So good decision making from him, I feel, but is it going to be enough? He's still pretty high on the net worth, but his team is just falling so much behind.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Mith Trust, going against Mith Trust, I should say. 40 plus minutes, you'll be in trouble. Well, we're 50 minutes in the game. MVP has a pretty good hold on this game. Of course, they did have the racks before that point, but and I think a lot of this has to do with the team fight potential. MVP is just completely blowing Mistrust out of the water in that terms. Kells just has to kind of kite his way, just uses the Ethereal, then has to try to force the chase out.
This is such a big play. I love this from Mith. They realize this is going to be coming, and if MVP aren't ready for it, this is all about can you one-shot the Warlock or not.
Nature's Guys all the way.
The whole team is invisible. It's a level 4 Nature's Guys.
Oh, here we go, initiate. Here comes the BKB Chaotic Offering. It's going to be 2 of them again. Ice Path to follow. Stampede right off the bat. It was actually stolen from Rubik. Boombell is dead. Abba stuck inside the Nature's Prophet. Sprout again. He's going to go down the right clicks of Slark who gets the Bash Lord. Good God. 3 dead for Mith Trust, and this is not looking good. MVP should be able to take this 3rd Rax.
I'm really surprised they chose to open the Slark there. There was no reason to do it. He even had the Aegis anyway, and now TNK is going to die as well. You wait for the Warlock, and you try to get the jump on him so he does not get these Chaotic Offerings off. Else you just flat out lose the fight. Warlock is a team fight beast, and the way you deal with it is that you catch him with some sort of good initiation now. Like Kells will just try to buy time, gonna buy back. No one on his team is able to come back.
No way.
That means it's gonna be mega creeps. This game is now over. MVP will be claiming the first match. As Fear predicted,
Yep, Fear predicted it so far.
we might end up with a prediction, a correct prediction for every one of us apart from you.
Pass. Well, if Mith Trust plays like this, I don't see them winning game 2 either. There's nope. I don't know what to say other than Lakel's is the only player that's really impressed me for their team on a consistent basis. KYT, who has impressed me in the past, just got nothing from this game. Like, how many Blink initiations did we get that actually worked out well? The lift up from Rubik, I feel like the Rubik played out of his mind this game, despite not getting more until 10 minutes ago, but I'll forgive
He didn't
that.
need it anyway. It's not like he died.
True.
So I think overall, if you're playing against this type of lineup that MVP has, it's not easy being the Centaur, honestly. It's not easy to initiate into this. Like you said, there's instant telekinesis. You know you're fighting into this amazing team fight that MVP has. So they kind of just played their heroes. They didn't really care. And they just beat it with their own. So if you're Mith Trust now, you're like, okay, we got our Morphling, we got our Shadow Demon, we got our Treant. Still lost that game, this is arguably our best set of heroes, perhaps